Yeah, it just says there's 7 more minutes of this shit. I'll ride it out. I want to be on the front line. Why do I go to work? A lot of reasons. So, the other day, I'm at work and a dude walks up to me and he tags me as a prepper. He's like, "You're a prepper." And I haven't identified as a prepper really ever or in a very, very long time. Like, it's always been on the fringe, right? But ultimately, like, I did grow up in really adverse conditions that I don't want to live in. Shitting in a fucking outhouse and freezing cold at night and, sleeping in cars and in tents and campgrounds and people's backyards and shit, like the bad times. No interest in reliving that. That's brutal. And then, like, I did lots of Boy Scouts and camping and hiking and backpacking and just fucking around in the woods growing up as a kid in these mountains here. And so, a lot of that is preparing. Like, if you're not prepared, you're going to be hungry. If you're not prepared, you're going to be thirsty. If you're not prepared and you get hurt, it's going to be a real long day. So, naturally, if you get out, like, if you're not living the total condo life, just like, well, I go to work and then I go to the gym and then I eat my little pre-prepared dinner and then I watch my show and I go to sleep. I take my pills and everything's fine. I just need better pills so I feel better. Like, if you're on that trip, can't help you. But if you, if you grew up water skiing and snow skiing and rock climbing and backpacking and camping and, like, dirt biking and rope swinging and river tromping and cave diving and skydiving, and, if you grew up, like, as a real fucking 100%, fully actualized human, well, preparation is key. Like, preparation for a skydive is key. I once was on a skydive where preparation, you can plan all you fucking want. The question is, how well did you prepare? So in the case of, the skydiving adventure I went on, the plan was great. The preparation was poor, and our parachute snaggled. And then we had to cut it loose, and I got to take a double skydive. Preparation, all right? So this dude at work spots me as a prepper. And if you come from a farm, you're a prepper. All right, I guess, it's like, there's kook preppers. So actually, we did explore this back in, like, 2010, 11, 12. There's kook prepping, right? Which is like, you go down a rabbit hole on YouTube and you watch a bunch of paranoid shit. Oh, the fucking government's coming, the fucking economy's collapsing, all the fucking grid infrastructure's going down, all privacy. Like, there's just dudes who are literally, they're on drugs and they're fucking geeked, and they don't know they're geeked. They're paranoid, right? They're like fucking gonzo paranoid. And so they're like buying fucking, like $1,000 fucking survival packs of, like, dry food in 5-gallon buckets, and, like, building fucking, rooms that are 2-foot thick timbers, and fucking stocking up on ammunition. And there's that, right? That's not what we're talking about. I actually don't have a food cache. I have friends who do. I don't have an ammunition cache. I fired it all. I've got a few thousand rounds, but a few thousand rounds doesn't go far. I could go and discharge 300 rounds easy at the range. If I go with someone else, that's 600 rounds. And if I go with 2 other people, that's 1,000 rounds. So in one day, I can drop 1,000 rounds. So having a few thousand around, it's not a lot to me. But here's the holdup. Oh, this truck made it all the way to the summit and shit its pants, dude. It must have a heavy fucking load. So now this tow truck has to tow not only that heavy ass truck, but its load too. That's a big, I watch YouTube channels of tow truck drivers like this. It's actually really fucking cool. A lot goes in. Like, that's a mega tow truck, dude. That thing, all right, so just for that tow truck to pull its own weight up the hill with that crane and all that shit is a feat. Then it has to pull the truck it's towing, which is so it needs double power, right? Then it also has to carry the load in the trailer. It's like triple power. So those things are wicked torque monsters. I'm getting like 2 miles to the gallon, dude, with like 21 gears, like. And then they're going 35 miles an hour. Fucking crazy. All right, what do we have here? We got warnings on the dash for tire, for oil filter, for airbag. All right, we got 4 different used tires on the car. I'm sure one of them's flat. We're good to go. So preparation is fucking key. If you're going out in the ocean, if you're going up in these hills, if you're attacking life in any way. A lot of people mix up planning with preparation. They plan and plan and plan and plan. And I've seen people break at 50 years old because, through all their planning, they started counting their chickens before they fucking hatched. And they're putting all their eggs in one basket. And they're getting greedy on the market. And before you know it, they've got, 70% of their wealth in volatile market, getting a high return. And they start expecting that, dude, double up, like every 5 or 10 years, they're fucking doubling up, and they're like, woo! They're getting from like 50,000 to 100,000 to 200,000. They want to hit that 400,000. After that's 800,000, 1.6 million, right? And then they want to be fucking rich. And then the market shakes. How about 2008? That was not a depression. That was just a little fart, dude. That was like a frog farting in the bathtub. Just a little bloop. And I watched people lose more than half of their retirement overnight and panic and start selling at the bottom of the market at fucking reduced rates, losing 60% of what they thought they had. Like they had, say, $600,000, and then like hundreds of thousands of that was poof gone. And they fucking freaked out. All that planning went to shit. I watched other people ride it out and actually ride the fucking low, double down, and fucking come out real good. But that's not the point. You can't really plan around things you don't have control over. Okay, you don't have control over the financial markets. You don't have control over natural disasters. You don't have control over the way other humans behave. You don't have control over technology. You can't control whether AI rolls out or not. You can fight it, but you can't control it. You don't have control over, the mechanization of the shifting of the workforces, right? Like, yeah, we're moving away from bending over to pick weeds, and we're moving towards robots that deal with weeds. That's just the way it goes. If you look at big farming, they're driving $1 million tractors. They're using fucking crazy genetics. Like farmers in the Midwest are growing fields of corn where like 1 billion ears of corn are all identical. Now go on down to the farmer's market and get some of that bug-gnawed, chewy fucking corn they sell, those fucking hippies sell for like 3 times as much, and tell me what you like better. I'm not into the bug-gnawed, chewy fucking organic hippie corn, dude. I'm into like paying $1.50 to get a whole bunch of big, juicy ears of perfect corn with no bugs and no, I'm into it, dude. I'm sure I'll die early. I'm 50. I'm almost 50. I'm not going to make it much past 65 without being in a severe degraded health. So I got 15 good fun years, and I'm doing it right now. After that, all my poor decisions, are going to catch up with me. All the smoking and the drinking and the partying and the hard work and the hard hits, all the risk taking. It'll come for me. Death is coming. So along the way, I don't plan much. If I was planning right now, I'd be planning to die. I'm not trying to plan to like live to be 90 on a fucking respirator in a hospital bed someplace with bed sores. It's a person who hates me wiping my ass. No thanks. My grandma went out like that. She lived to be like 99, dude. She just missed 100, and it was only because of COVID. She'd have been 100 if it had been for COVID. But when everything locked down, she's like 99 years old, like confined to like, you know, she'd planned it all, like an adult living, you know, spot. And all of a sudden she couldn't get visitors and she couldn't go outside and she couldn't interact with the other people. Lost her mind. Kind of ironic and fitting, but she was a hard old bird, dude. Tough lady. To be celebrated and to be learned from. She made a lot of fucking fucked up decisions. Had to. I understand. I don't resent her for it. But there were some fucking harsh decisions made back in the 80s. Anyhow, when you talk about prepping or preparing, there's basics which you can do which pay off in all eventualities. And that works into what we call the octality. It's a win-win-win-win-win situation. Example. If you go out and get exercise, that's prepping. If you can fucking jog a mile, that's great. If you can lift 100 pounds overhead, that's great. Think about it. If your cardiovascular system and muscle system is in shape, that is a win-win. It's better for you. You'll live longer. You'll live better. You'll be prepared. You'll have a higher survival chance. Especially if you're swimming. Swimming's excellent. It's low impact. Even better if you're swimming in the waves, in the surf. And even better if you're surfing in the surf, catching the big waves. Oh yeah, dude, it's a huge cardiovascular workout. It's a big mental workout. It's a big hand-eye, where it's like a body. You have to be coordinated to do it, right? Like paddling out and judging all that and being in the now and catching waves and riding them, that's huge. That's preparing for when you fucking slip and fall in the ocean. Like, in the summer, dude, you don't know how many people die in Santa Cruz just for falling in the water. It's brittle. It's fucking freezing cold. It's smashing hard, and if you don't know how to deal with it, you panic and die. It happens like daily. Alright, it doesn't happen daily. It doesn't even happen weekly. There'll be some bad weeks. I don't know. Some 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that die a year. I don't know, once a month someone dies. Sometimes in pairs. Lots of times one person falls in and someone else jumps in to save them, and the person who jumps in actually dies. So preparing for life is being physical. You cannot sit inside at the computer and start drinking at 5 o'clock, or you can't sit inside and smoke pot all day. That ain't gonna work out for you. You know what epic preparation is? Climbing. The climbing gym. Top roping and bouldering. Fucking brilliant in the now activity. People used to do all sorts of stuff. Play tennis, play basketball, golf. I don't know, dude. Golf is kind of for douchebags. Sorry. I played golf for a long time. I could play a game of golf. I think of golf as kind of like the same as video poker. Like video poker machines or playing online poker. I kind of consider that in the same category as golf, dude. It's just not that fucking beneficial. Maybe if you're walking, you know, a full course, but like in a golf cart, just swinging the club, you know, it's more of a business thing. Business happens on the golf course. So, preparing. Learning to drive a car aggressively is very good preparation. being able to take a corner in the rain, in the sand, with low lighting, you know, like losing control and regaining it. Even better, off-roading, okay? Mud bogging and trail riding and hill climbing, that is real good preparation. Serves you well. Dude, I got into off-roading for a few years on the cheap. This is where I bought a $4,000 rig, and my buddy bought a $40,000 rig, but I put more time in practicing, and it pays off, dude. Like right now, I can totally take this car off-road. This car is lowered, and it is not meant for off-roading, but I can go and drive up on something like that. I know exactly where my tipping point is. I know exactly what high siding feels like. Off-roading is very good prep work. For me, I believe that firearms are good preparation. You have to know your way around firearms. Pistols and rifles, dude. You don't need to know how to fire a grenade launcher, or, you know, you don't need to be able to throw a grenade, but you better be able to pick up any pistol and not just cycle it, not just like load it and rack it and unload it and fire it and not just hit target, but actually like find what's fucking wrong with it and clear it, dude. Like clearing jams and you know, taking a pistol all the way down and repairing it when it's been fucking put into a mode where it won't operate. Being able to sight in a rifle with windage, just handling weapons, being able to reload ammunition, and understanding all the physics and all the fundamentals, that's been very rewarding. I do that. Far more rewarding than weapons is just repair. Being able to repair a dishwasher, repair a washing machine, repair an oven or stove, repair a dryer, okay? Repair a water heater, instant water heater, HVAC, repair a doorway, the door doesn't close well, repair locks, repair windows, repair paint, repair drywall, repair framing, repair flooring, repair lighting, repair electrical, right? Very rewarding preparation. Possibly more rewarding than that, automotive repair. Diagnose and repair anything in a car, then drive the shit out of it. Most rewarding thing I've ever done. Build strength and stamina and cunning. Huh? Most important preparation of all is schooling. I know a few guys who snuck through. You know, like the most amazing guys I know actually skipped school, but they're 0.000001 percentile. These are special geniuses who know how to self-teach. They went to school, they just didn't get a diploma for it. Like, one of the guys I look up to more than anyone else, he didn't go to school. He knows his physics, he knows his math, he knows his chemistry, he knows, he knows all the useful shit. He doesn't have a piece of paper, but that's not something to aspire to. All right, you and me, we're not that smart, or we might be. We might have that potential or that aptitude, but we don't have the discipline. So, in order to make it without going to school, you need extreme aptitude and potential multiplied by extreme discipline. And most people just aren't made for it. They can't do it. Not made of the right stuff. So the rest of us, we got to go to school and have it beaten into us. You go to your preschool and your kindergarten and your elementary school and your high school and your junior college and maybe your trade school or your undergraduate, your graduate, maybe make it up to PhD. And in there, there's a structured approach that will help you open doors and unlock things You know, like most of my schooling, I couldn't even appreciate it till I started applying it practically. And then I started appreciating, like, oh, yeah, I understand algebra. Duh. You know, oh, I understand calculus. Like, yeah, you do need to understand these concepts. You don't need to be able to work calculus. You need to be able to understand calculus. Like, how does that work? I'll tell you how it works. You know how it works. You definitely got to know your physics. You got to know your your laws and rules. You got to know your formulas. And it's nice to be able to do that in a schooling program. And there's all kinds of opportunities which aren't for everybody. Okay? There's special opportunities which, if you are that one in a million, you can get into of your own. You know, you can come in with a hammer and fucking work your way to the top. But that's fucking hard way, dude. So you go through a schooling system, and then you get an opportunity, and then it's make or break, sink or swim. You know. And some people, it takes them a year or two to figure it out. Some people, it takes them 5 or 10 years to figure it out. Some people never figure it out. I know plenty of dead weight that have piles of, you know, pieces of paper that say they're competent. But when it comes down to it, they're just, you know, not really fucking getting it. So I'd say one of the best preparations you can do is completing a course of study. Not for the information, just to get by the glass ceiling and the discrimination, and just to open the opportunities to get a job that pays more, to afford to do more do-it-yourself work, right? Like, how many, if you've been following me for the last, I don't know, just the last 20 years, I've dumped $1 million into my hobbies. You know, maybe not that much. Depends on how you count. I've dumped a lot of, and when I say it, it's like, well, one of my hobbies was to buy a $400,000 house and completely tear it down and completely build it back up. So does that count towards it? I don't know. Add up all the cars, and, you know, it depends on how you value things. Like, what I paid for it, nothing. What it's worth, a lot more. Still have it. Like when I buy a car for $300 and fix it. But my point is that you got to have, if you want to go hard, you got to have working capital. You know? You got to have a day job. Otherwise, your hobbies turn into your job, and it kind of sucks. Preparation, prepping, understanding the human condition. Who can you trust and why? From the gangster films, you'll learn that there's a certain phrase of, like, you don't really trust somebody, you trust somebody to be themselves. In other words, you trust someone to be predictable. So being able to predict the actions, I've been fooled over the years. I've been taken, dude. I've been fooled by sociopaths, psychopaths, swindlers, cheaters, liars, you know, just fucking, I've been fooled many times. And that's why I say that primarily how I judge someone is by their eyes. And you can't tell when they're putting it on, but if you watch them long enough, you'll pick up that look on their face. You know, you can read their face. And being able to, you know, like, the way you learn to read humans is you got to get into a vast number of sticky situations. You know, like, put in a situation where a human has an opportunity to help you or to fucking, or to fuck you up. You ever been in those situations? Call them team building exercises. Oh yeah. Some people will put themselves at risk to help you, and some people will just fend for themselves. So learning how to judge people is an important prepping activity. Being technologically savvy is one of the best prepping activities you can do. Do you know how to fix the computer? Software and hardware. Do you know how to fix the phone? Software and hardware. Do you know how to fix batteries? Do you know how to fix electrical? AC or DC? Right? You understand how to make a website, how to express yourself online. You know how to fucking, do your business electronically. Important prepping activity. The most important of all is learning how to adapt. Adaptation. Strangely enough, some of the best teachers of adaptation were psychonauts. Psychonauts are like smart, educated people who took a deep dive into the psychedelic experience. And in doing that, it can be a very rough ride, okay? You can go and have these just like really, really far out experiences. And I've seen people try to write about it. You could write about it all your life, and there's only two outcomes. Either someone understands or they don't. And if they haven't had the experience, they can't understand. And if they have had the experience, it's different, but they understand. And through that, I've seen some very interesting paradigm shifts in people where their fucking fundamental root understanding of life changes. They have great insights. It's because they see through this shit that's in front of us. Like right now, there's an airplane up there, there's a big green sign, there's a concrete road, okay, there's some fucking haze in the air, the temperature outside is, it's kind of warm and stinky out there. That's on the surface. Below the surface, there's a lot more going on. It's enough on that topic. As far as that goes with preparation, you need to prepare to know what it's like to be inebriated. All right? Know when you can drive a car and when you can't. Know when you can walk and when you can't. Know how your perceptions shift. You have to be ready for it. I've seen people who are like 30 years old who've never been in an altered state before, and all of a sudden they are, and they cannot handle themselves. They've been living in this lie their whole life, like this whole pretentious fucking, their understanding of reality is just this lie, and then it all comes crumbling down on them. And, or they get, they get really nasty, get really mean, or they get like really incompetent, and it's kind of funny to watch. So at least having an understanding of it, you can understand a lot of it just by observing others, but some of it you need to experience yourself. That's part of preparing. It's kind of like don't drink at work. Don't, if you go to a work social function, limit it to one beer. Don't have 3 hard drinks at a fucking, right? Especially not if you don't know how to handle your liquor. So there you go. Prepping, it's not buying a bunch of dried potatoes in 5-gallon buckets and hiding it in your basement. Prepping is being ready to adapt. Right now we're about to go through a radical change. Like the fundamental paradigms are about to shift. What you do with your time is about to change. For guys like me, this will be no different. I've been fucking just working on shit for 30 years, 40 years, and I'm going to keep working on shit for 30 years or 40 years. But for other people, they might find that their entire life's work is upended. They've been studying to cook spreadsheets for 20 years, and all of a sudden AI can just do it. Maybe somebody's been working in a factory doing the same repetitive task over and over and over for 15 years, and that job gets replaced with mechanization. Maybe people have like a waiter, right? We might replace waiters. I don't know. Most restaurants you walk into these days, they use a kiosk instead of a person at the counter. It's more efficient, cheaper to run and operate. You know, truck drivers, taxi cab drivers. This disruption's been going on for some time. Notice that taxi cabs are dead for the most part. A lot of customer service is dead. Like the whole concept of having, you know, helpful people at the counter, like the cash counter at the electrical warehouse, or the walk-up counter at the automotive parts store. Go ahead and go down to AutoZone and ask them a technical question about a car. Dude, all they're doing is shooting barcodes over there. Good luck finding a good boat mechanic. You can down at the harbor. It's expensive. Manufacturing. For the last 50 years at least, we've been killing our manufacturing. We sent it all overseas, and then we found out that you can get even a better value if you send your engineering overseas. Google did it. Some small startups I worked at did it. You can completely and totally outsource your engineering. There's a price to pay for that. If you engineer or you produce overseas, it becomes shareware. It's not protected by, like, America has a gentleman's agreement that you can own an idea and charge other people to use it. That's not true worldwide. There used to be things like the Pirate Bay. Before that, like BitTorrent, torrenting sites. Well, you would use BitTorrent or MicroTorrent at the Pirate Bay, right? eDonkey. All sorts of pirating systems became mainstream. You want to know what the biggest pirate system is currently? Ironically, it's fucking Amazon, dude. There's an electric Amazon truck right there. There is more pirate shit on Amazon than anywhere else. And you can have it same day or tomorrow. Stuff with fake UL approvals. Stuff that is like contraband, you know. Whatever it is, Amazon's where you get it. You used to have to go to like the magic shop or the head shop, or you'd have to go to like San Francisco to pick it up. You'd have to know a guy. You know what I mean? Not anymore. All that shit's available on Amazon. You used to have to go to like places. There were places like Deal Extreme. This is like a big step up from Alibaba. Kind of like Newegg, but everything you can think of there. From like total ripoffs to like amazing good deals. I don't know what Deal Extreme turned into. I know they got fucking slammed with a bunch of lawyer shit for just, you know, selling contraband and stuff like that. So you can't get a lot of the good stuff. There's still oddball websites around. Like I haven't checked in a while, but United Nuclear. They've taken the time to figure out what's legal and what's not. So you can like go to United Nuclear and buy like fuses and precursors for explosives and, you know, like caffeinated soap and like laser guns that'll set things on fire, and like, you can buy all kinds of shit. But I don't fool around with any of that. The rules, you know, the rules every 5 years they leverage more and more of like the anti-terrorism rules to set like severely harsh penalties. So where it used to be fun to like fool around and, you know, maybe make some fireworks or whatever, now they call those like improvised explosive devices. Like literally, like if you make your own fireworks, like you make like, I don't know, a big firecracker, dude, they call that like there's just a, it's like, you know what it is? It's like the Nancy Reagan days of like 3 strikes you're out, of just absolutely harsh. Like they don't care what the facts are. Here's the fucking rules. If you get caught with something like that, minimum penalty, you know, like severe penalties. So I think it's stupid, but in many states you can't have any of that stuff. Some of it's federal, some of it's state. It's still fun though. Around drugs and chemistry, they have severe penalties. Like if you go and just take a bunch of random shit and cook it together into certain chemical compounds, you can be like put in prison for 9 years. It's pretty bizarre. But that's the American paradigm. You get a great way to prep is to know the rules. So you got to know the official rules, and then you need to know the unofficial rules. What can you get away with? Like in Southern California, everybody drives 85 miles per hour. What's the official rule? 65, 70? What's the unofficial rule? Well, if you're going the same speed as everyone else, it's not really a problem, right? Official and unofficial rules. An important part of prepping is understanding that anything important doesn't fit the paradigm. Okay, there's no checkbox for it. If you go to the local fucking public school, or you go to the local Department of Motor Vehicles, or even if you go to the court, they just can't deal with it. There is no fucking box to check. There's no mold to fit in. It is prohibited. Yet, it's what is required for innovation. Everything around you that you can see, I can tell you a story about how technically that was prohibited. Okay, innovation is basically prohibited. You're not allowed to experiment. You're not allowed to test. By the books, you're not. Like if you want to try something new, you'd have to get a permit for that. And some fucking dude's gonna show up and be like, there's no box to check, you know? So there's a lot of asking for forgiveness and not for permission. And everything around you was like someone had to try it and then, you know, build some data up around it and change the paradigm, change the rules of engagement. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you want to be a prepper, start with just getting outside, ride a bike, go jump in the ocean, finish a fucking education program, pick up hobbies, bicycling, e-biking, automotive DIY, home DIY, electronics repair, whatever your gig is, dude. Solve problems with 3D printers. Start doing it. I'm an extreme DIYer, and I've been, like I said, it's been slow for the last 4 or 5 years because I had another kid. But my kid's like ready for DIY. Like my wife yesterday bought an electric hot glue gun. Like a hot glue gun wasn't enough. She needs an electric hot glue gun. Fucking crafting, right? My son, just yesterday, picked up a skim board and started skimming. That's when you ride the mud down at the beach. The thin coating of water over the mud, the sand. Don't get caught up in perfection. Perfection is the opposite of preparation. It's better to make a first cut, more will be revealed. Make a second cut, more will be revealed. Iterative approach. That's the quickest. The most fun, too. Most exciting. Most rewarding. Ooh, there's In-N-Out Burger. So I think it's 12:10. I think lunch is still on at work. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's already over, but I could stop at In-N-Out Burger right now. That sounds tasty, dude. Get a milkshake, some salty fries, get a cheeseburger with lettuce. Oh man, the old In-N-Out. It has one of those distinct flavors just like the others do, but it's not as unappealing. Like the Burger King, Jack in the Box, McDonald's flavors make me want to fucking retch. But In-N-Out, it's pretty tasty. It's like a cologne you wear. Get In-N-Out smell on your hands, In-N-Out smell on your shirt. I just keep 2 or 3 bags of In-N-Out in the backseat of the car at all times. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, 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 bow. That's my my take on prepping. Yeah, I'm a prepper. It's not like you might think. I don't sit around watching fucking right-wing nutbag videos. You know, like hunkering is a little different than prepping. Although I do quite a bit of hunkering. My style of hunkering leans more towards Camping with Steve. Go look up the YouTube channel, Camping with Steve. Go into my subscriptions and look at a lot of the things. You got to go look at Project Farm. Go look at No Nonsense Know How. Honda makes good cars. I can fix any Honda. If there's a problem, I can fix it. Parts are available. Honda supports right to repair. Tesla, not so much. Audi, BMW, yeah.